Cherington is not, and I'm going to emphasize this, not known to be currently engaged in any kind of trade talks involving Jared Jones. He has been. That, in and of itself, is probably worth talking about. Morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. Comes your way bright and early every weekday, unless, of course, it's Christmas, in which case it takes a little bit of a break. If you happen to be into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins in the same place that you found this. A few months ago, I reported exclusively for DK Pittsburgh Sports that the Pirates and Orioles had had a discussion involving Jones and involving Jackson Holliday. Now, that is all I knew about this, but I found out about this from an impeccable source with a capital I and a capital S, all right? This wasn't one of those that I was guessing at. It wasn't even one of those that I was working toward. It just came to me from someone who would very, very much know. Now, nothing came of it, and nothing was likely to come of it. I also said that at the time. But the media types who only ever report on these types of things, player transactions, contracts, communicating with agents and so forth, they can't stand when somebody who actually covers baseball or actually covers a team for a living beats them on something like this. So they were falling all over themselves to dump on this report. One of them just put on Twitter, LOL, nope. So last week, whenever a report emerged from Boston that up until recently the Pirates and Red Sox had been engaged in talks also involving Jones, all of a sudden, those people just went silent. Kind of helps to be there in the stadiums, not in some cubicle in Bristol, Connecticut. At any rate, that report also said that whatever this was between the Pirates and the Red Sox regarding Jones was in the past tense. My current information is that not only is Jones not on the block, no starting pitchers are on the block. When Luis Ortiz was traded to the Guardians in the exchange that brought Spencer Horwitz here to be the Pirates' new, first baseman, platoon first baseman, whatever the expectations might be for him, that was as far as Cherington was going to go. And it's kind of obvious why. You can get as excited as you want about a rotation that's got Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, and Jones in it, and purportedly, sooner rather than later, Bubba Chandler. But as soon as you cut that number by one, no matter who is the one that's going out, you're down to a low enough percentage that this being your dominant trait as a team really fades, and it fades fast. Cherington acknowledged as much himself at the recent winter meetings. And this after the Ortiz trade. So, no, they're not trying to trade Jones. I don't know why they would have been comfortable doing that, though. And I told this to you at the time that I reported on the interaction with the Orioles, and I'm going to repeat it now. I find myself constantly disappointed by the very upperest of management, and that, of course, being Bob Nutting and Travis Williams, in allowing Cherington to even contemplate dangling such valuable pieces when what would have to return would be hitting. He is as qualified to identify hitting as I am to select the next crew of astronauts headed into outer space. He can't recognize hitting. Heck, he can't even pinpoint what kind of hitters he'd like to have, or even if he likes it when they hit. So the idea that he's out there, he's out there bartering with Jones, who is, if it weren't for Skeens, someone that would have the entire city buzzing just about his talent, about his live arm, about his badassedness and everything else. And that he's out there. He, the guy who went and got you Brian Dela Cruz. to carry the team to postseason glory in the summer of 2024, only to watch him hit a $150 and get released by season's end. I'm glad that this is no longer the case. I'm glad that Jones can't really be traded now, and he can't. But I feel that it's completely fair to share with you that I remain dismayed that he's still in his post. But being within the post, you can still operate with some restrictions. You can still operate with the one who owns the company saying to you, hey, listen, these young pitchers, this starting rotation in general is way too important for us to be risking it on you trying to clean up your record when it comes to acquiring hitters. Your ledger, after 5 years, consists of a headshot of Joey Bart. That's it. That's all you've gotten. You've gotten the Pirates half a season of Joey Bart. And we're just going to let you send Jones out of here? Come on, man. When we come back, J1Q.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org. That's gunstoragecheck.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Abandon ship, Bob. Sell the team. Are you a Pirates fan who is angry or apathetic about our perennial losing baseball team? Do you feel helpless because you don't know how to make a difference? Well, good news. We have something you can do about it. Join our Sell the Team movement. We're a group of passionate fans voicing our frustration and demanding change through billboard campaigns, press outreach, protests, and involvement at local city government meetings. Go to OurTeamNotHis.com to get involved.
Today's J1Q comes from Edward, who says, hi, DK. I listen to your daily shots via Spotify Premium. Appreciate that. I appreciate hearing where you hear the show as well. Anytime you send something to me, feel free to share that. That's always interesting. We have some data that's available to that, but some of it, to be honest with you, is a little hard to trust. Anything that you can ever put in this direction that gives a little bit of background on that, yeah, that's helpful. Ed says, why didn't or don't the Pirates consider signing Josh Bell? I know they traded Luis Ortiz for that Spencer guy. Bell killed the Pirates last year when he played them. Plus, he's a switch hitter. Spencer Horwitz, of course, is who Edward is referring to. Bell is a free agent. Bell did produce 19 home runs, 71 RBIs, and a .243 batting average last season. The power and the run production is obviously something that any team would find attractive. I don't need to tell anyone who's followed the Pirates for more than a couple of years that the thing that's held Bell back, including in Pittsburgh, is that he struggles defensively. And he'll occasionally put together something at first base that'll make you think there's some hope, but then you see him throw the ball and he'll throw it into left field. And I don't want to be mean here. I got to know JB about as well as I'd known any player over the past half decade within this operation. Great dude, hard worker, dedicated, quality teammate. And his power is so innate that it could be accidental. He could just reach out and poke a ball and it'll end up over a fence somewhere. But we have also seen, wherever he's been in recent years, that they will try like crazy to hide that glove. Up to and including seeing players come on as a defensive substitute for him in the 7th, 8th, 9th innings. And I mean, we're talking about first base here. As a manager, you'd rather not use your defensive substitutes at first base. Now, I don't have any doubt that the reason that Ben Cherington traded Bell in the first place, by the way, for nothing, as it turns out. If you ever want to get truly dismayed about what Cherington's done to this team, go back over those early names when he took over the Starling Martes and so forth and see what came back for those guys. Or I can just save you the trouble and let you know that it's just David Bednar. Like, for all those guys that went out, what came back was Bednar. But one of the things that Charrington didn't appreciate was that Bell was so defensively deficient. And if you think about it, you can say, all right, well, just bring him here and have him be the DH. Well, you kind of got a DH now. And you've even got a DH from both sides. Bell, of course, being a switch hitter. But on the days that Andrew McCutchen isn't playing, and you're not going to have him be your DH every day, it's way more convenient and smart, I think, to have Brian Reynolds be the one that you use in that role. Gives you an obvious opportunity to keep your best bat in the lineup as often as possible while also not wearing him out. Then again, I have no idea what stupidity is in store as it relates to Reynolds being involved at first base. But I hope that answers your question. It's JB can hit. JB's 32 years old. He's still going to be able to hit for a while. And depending on where it is that he signs or what league he's in, JB might well come back to Pittsburgh again in 2025 and beat the Pirates one more time. But that doesn't mean that there's a fit here, and that doesn't mean that anybody's got anything against him. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll be back with another one of these on Monday.